Hello and a warm welcome to China Day. Today, our main focus is on green innovation. And in the program, we're going to have a very interesting green innovation kind of seminar and interviews. And we're going to meet wonderful entrepreneurs and get to know some companies. But first in this program, I want to say hello from us. My name is Maria and I am the moderator, and the first key speaker of today's program is the ambassador Gui. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. 尊敬的绿联企业家朋友们，大家上午好。
Distinguished friends from the Swedish business community, good morning.
绿色经济已成为人类社会经济发展的潮流，许多国家都把发展绿色产业作为推动社会经济结构转型升级的重要举措，抢抓未来发展先机。
Green economy is now a global trend for social and economic development. Many countries are upgrading their economic structures through developing green industries to get one step ahead for future development.
中国正大力践行新发展理念。习近平主席强调，新时代新阶段的发展必须贯彻新发展理念，必须是高质量发展。
China pursues a new development vision. President Xi Jinping stressed that in the new era and stage, China must follow a new development vision, one that emphasizes on high-quality development.
2015年，中国共产党18届五中全会提出创新协调、绿色、开放、共享的新发展理念。去年，中国共产党19届五中全会通过中共中央关于国民经济和社会发展第14个5年规划和2035年远景目标的建议，进一步突出新发展理念的引领作用，强调把新发展理念贯穿发展全过程和各领域。
In 2015, the fifth plenary session of the 18th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, the CPC, proposed the new development vision of innovative, coordinated, green, open, and shared development. The fifth plenary session of the 19th CPC Central Committee, convened last year, adopted the 14th five-year plan for national economic and social development and the long-range objectives through the year 2035, which further highlights the guiding role of the new development vision and emphasizes on the importance of implementing the vision throughout China's development.
中国正积极推进绿色低碳发展。中国以专业承诺，将全面落实联合国2030可持续发展议程。中国加强生态文明建设，加快调整优化产业结构、能源结构，倡导绿色低碳的生活生产方式。
China is actively pursuing green and low-carbon development. China has made a solemn commitment to implement the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Under this commitment, China will strengthen green development efforts, accelerate upgrading its industrial and energy structures, and promote a greener lifestyle.
习近平主席已经郑重宣布，中国力争于2030年二氧化碳排放达到峰值，2060年实现碳中和，并呼吁各国抓住新一轮科技革命和产业变革的历史性机遇，推动疫情后世界经济绿色复苏，汇聚起可持续发展的强大合力。
As President Xi announced, China will strive to peak carbon emission by 2030 and reach carbon neutrality by 2060. China also calls on other countries to seize the historic opportunities presented by a new round of technological and industrial revolution, pursue green economic recovery in the post-COVID-19 era, and pose strengths for sustainable development.
在实现绿色发展方面，中瑞双方理念高度契合。中瑞在绿色技术领域研究成果，中国在绿色技术领域研究成果丰硕，在太阳能、风电、水电等绿色技术领域的技术成本优势明显，为全球新能源利润做出了重要贡献。
When it comes to green development, China and Sweden's development concepts are highly compatible. China's strength in green technology lie in its abundant research outcomes, competitive costs in green energy.
中国市场规模巨大，水、风、光、生物质发电都是世界第一， 发展前景广阔，14亿人形成的超大规模的市场需求，是绿色低碳技术发展和应用的巨大优势。
China's strengths also lie in a huge market with hydro, solar, and biopower generation, which ranks #1 in the world, and a promising market prospect with super-sized market of 1.4 billion people that is highly enabling to green technological innovation and application.
瑞典在绿色发展方面有丰富经验，拥有一大批创新型企业、创新型公司和成熟企业，特别是在环境技术创新、新能源利用、生态城市规划、环境工程咨询、垃圾能源化、工业与建筑节能、生物燃料、风力发电以及太阳能、海洋能利用等领域，拥有全球先进的技术和系统解决方案。
Sweden has rich experience to offer when it comes to green development, with a long list of innovative and established companies, especially technologies and system solutions in areas of environmental technologies, new energy, bio-urban planning, environment engineering consulting, waste reuse, industrial and construction energy conservation, biofuel, wind, solar, and tide power.
中瑞绿色合作前景广阔，中方愿积极借鉴瑞典绿色低碳发展经验，促进中瑞绿色产业合作，对接中国绿色革命和无化石原料瑞典，造福两国和全世界。
China-Sweden green cooperation offers promising prospects. The Chinese side is willing to learn from Sweden's green and low-carbon practices, enhance green industrial cooperation, and synergize China's green revolution and fossil fuel-free Sweden to bring benefits to both our countries and the wider world.
同志们，朋友们，经过全党全国各族人民持续奋斗，中国人民实现了第一个100年奋斗目标，在中华大地上全面建成了小康社会，历史性解决了绝对贫困问题，正在意气风发地向着全面建成社会主义现代化强国的第2个奋斗目标迈进。
Dear friends, thanks to the continuous efforts by the CPC and the Chinese people, the first centenary goal of building a society of moderate comfort has been achieved, while historically eradicating absolute poverty in China. The country is marching towards achieving the second centenary goal of building China into a strong, modern, socialist country.
中国如今已经进入创新型国家行列，希望各位瑞典企业家抓住机遇，积极拓展中瑞在应对气候变化、绿色低碳、智慧城市、环境保护及相关科技创新等方面的交流合作，共同为中瑞可持续发展、为全人类可持续发展贡献新力量。
China is now an innovation powerhouse. It is hoped that friends from the Swedish business community will seize the opportunity, expand cooperation with China in areas of climate change, green and low carbon development, smart city, and environmental protection, and make contributions together with the Chinese partners to sustainable development of our two countries and the whole world.
我们期待着听取各位瑞方企业家对发展中瑞绿色合作的看法和建议。谢谢大家。
We look forward to hearing the insights by our Swedish friends from the Swedish business community in how we can work together to expand green cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 我也可以撤了它。
Welcome speech and the introduction. Very interesting to hear about your interest in green innovation and also open up for collaboration with the Swedish companies and entrepreneurs. Thank you so much. And that takes us to the next thing in the program. And we also now going to focus on the Swedish entrepreneurs and companies. And we are going to our expert panel. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Nice to have all of you here.
It's really nice to be here.
Yeah, it's a fantastic theme, green innovation, and we are very glad that you are with us here today. We have Tilda And we have Sarosh and we have Elias, and you are going to get time to describe yourself and the company. And we are going to start with Mrs. Sarosh from Grön Ovation. Hello.
Hello.
So the people, we have a listener here who doesn't know you and your company. Please, like in 2 minutes, tell us about yourself and what you are doing.
Thanks for having me. My name is Sarosh Ramachandra, and I'm the CEO and founder of Grön Ovation AB. And this company is a spin-off from the Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences. And myself, I have a PhD in molecular biology, and I have been a scientist at the university for more than 12 years. And this company is one of the spin-offs from the research that we have obtained at our research. So the company, we mainly focus on indoor vertical farming technologies, and our main core focus is on developing automations. And what we do is we grow plants in a very congenial and sterile environment without sunlight and without any use of pesticides. So we use artificial light, which mimics the natural sunlight and gives much more nutrition to the crops. And our application is mainly towards food. So our goal is to deliver nutritious food to the customers all year round. And also the produce is used in pharmaceutical industry, cosmetic, and nutraceuticals.
Wow, what a great innovation and great company.
Thank you.
So you were telling us also that you have been a scientist for 12 years before, and then you went from scientist to entrepreneur. This is a big step from scientist to entrepreneur. What have been the most biggest learning point and success key for this transition?
Yes, I agree with you. I mean, it's a big change from being a scientist to an entrepreneur. So the challenges and what I have learned is that one should have a lot of perseverance, resilience, and not to give up motto when you have a startup. Because there's always it's a long phase until you get on the road.
Yeah, but you have a very interesting company, and you were talking about the growth of it. So where is the company in, say, 5 years from now? What's have your innovation and company made, like what impact have you been made in 5 years time?
Yes, so this company was started in 2017, and we have had a slow growth, but now we are in a very exponential growth. So we are right now producing approximately 1,000 kilos of fresh produce to the customers every month. And our goal is to have more than 10 such units in Sweden, because right now Sweden imports more than 75% of greens or vegetables from abroad. And that's a lot of use of pesticides and not really guaranteed nutrition levels. So what we want to do is we want to make it a much more sustainable food production with minimum impact on the environment.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have Elias.
Yes.
Welcome, Elias from Avery Milton.
Yes, thank you for having me. My name is Elias Ayub. I'm the CEO and founder of Avery Milton. And we at Avery Milton work with sustainable fashion. Yeah.
This is very good, short and consistent. But if you tell us a little bit more about the journey your company has been doing the last from start to today.
Yes.
Why is Avery Milton an important company, and what impact do you want to?
Yes, I've been working as a product developer for one of the biggest companies in Sweden. And there was one day that I felt I want to make an impact on the environment. So I founded Avery Milton, and the impact we do is we create sustainable products with sustainable way and sustainable materials.
That's very good. So have you, we have a question for earlier, like from now and 5 years from now, how do you see you and your company grow?
Yeah, we are working hard on producing more sustainable materials, new products. And I believe that selling and coming into the Chinese market is a good way to do it, and not just see China as a production company, but also see China as a market. So we are focusing on coming into China.
Yeah, very interesting. We're going to talk more about that a little bit while, but first we're also going to have time to get to know and listen to Miss Tilda Wismar from Gothbury.
Yeah,
Welcome.
thank you for having me. It's really nice being here.
It's nice to have you here. So now we have heard from two very exciting companies, and Gothbury is also very exciting. So tell us a little bit more about the company.
Yeah, I'm the CEO and founder of Gothbury. That is a company that sells edible cutlery in chocolate and vanilla flavor. So it's a fun way to reduce your usage of single-use plastic and single-use utensils. So we offer our customers these delicious cutlery to use for their dessert, for example, ice cream or cake that you can eat with these, and then just eat them up afterwards. So it's no waste in the end of the meal.
Very practical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And very
And
delicious too.
Yeah, delicious, practical, and different kind of flavors.
Yeah.
And from you, the start from your journey to here, what is the biggest learning point or success key?
To always listen to the customer and always talk to the customer before you make a product or you make a business, because you never really know. It's impossible to know exactly what the customer wants until you actually talk to them. So I had an idea in the beginning, like I'm going to make this bread flavor, but that turned out to be not really what the customer wanted. So it was vanilla and chocolate that was the most wanted taste. So just listen to your customers and give them what they want. So talk to them.
Good advice.
That's the best thing to do.
Yeah. And we're also talking about, with the guys, we're talking about the future steps, like where do you find your business in 5 years from now? What kind of impact have your business been doing from now and 5 years into the future?
We've hopefully reduced the use of single-use utensils a lot in different parts of Europe, because we're focusing on the Europe market first and then possibly going into China. And we also hopefully have a range of different cutlery. So it's not only the spoons that we have right now, but also other kinds of cutlery that our customers want.
Very good. And the ground values for actually doing this, we can, of course, we can guess that for all three of you, it's like green innovation and doing this for the long run and to make the future better. But have you a personal like passion or like values that this is important for me?
It's really important for me because in the future I want kids, of course, and I want them to have the same upbringing as I did, like out and play in the woods and out and play in the forest. And I think that it's not going to be possible if we just cut down all the forest and if we just like throw a waste in the forest. So I hope that I can give my kids a good upbringing and that it's possible to live on this earth in the future.
Yeah, and all three of you are in that area and working for it. And we were talking about growth, future, collaboration. Elias, you were talking about having different kind of point of view to see the Chinese as not only as a production country, but also like a market there. So if I say business in China, what is your take on that? We start with you, Elias.
I was working as a product developer for this Swedish Chinese company, Link & Co. And the success of Link & Co have been phenomenal. It's so much they have sold out, and it took 2 years delay to come into Europe due to the demand. So this showcased that the combination of China and Sweden is a very good way to work. And I believe that China is a big player in the future market.
Good. And what do you think, Charles? The question.
Yes. So for us, the main focus is in the China market is Chinese traditional medicine. Because I have been to China many times and we have toured around many Chinese medicinal products, for example. And there is still a big lacuna in finding consistent quality materials, because TCM, as it is called as traditional Chinese medicine, is popular almost all over the world and it's increasing quite a lot.
Yes.
And China exports quite a lot of these. However, growing it and extracting has been a major challenge for them because of the environmental impact. So we are trying to focus on taking our technology to China and expand it over there so that we could help the producers to have much more quality, consistent products. That's our main next focus in the China market.
Okay, thank you. And Tilla, what do you think about business China? What's your response?
I'm not on the Chinese market yet with my business, but I believe that in all countries in our world, there's a lot of good entrepreneurs, and especially if there is entrepreneurs in China that are focusing on sustainability. It's a really good place to find new business partners. And as you guys said, that it's also a big market to find new customers and deliver the products.
So does it feel, we were talking about it, of some success stories we have from Scandinavian and Swedish companies just taking the step to Europe and then globally, like China and so forth. But have you do you see the step easy or hard? Pick it, who wants to answer.
I think it can be easy and it can be hard, depending on the connection you get. But the Chinese people is a very friendly way, and they are always listen to opportunities, and they're looking for opportunities. So if you get to connect with the right people, then it can be good.
Thank you. And Sarosh, what do you think about the step from going to expand? We're talking about first the step you had, like scientist to entrepreneur, and then from startup phase to scale up phase. So how do you see it?
Yeah, it's the growth gradual phase is quite challenging, but I mean, coming to the China market, so it's been quite positive and promising for us, because it's been very good interactions, even though there is a language barrier, but we have had some good interactions and positive response. So we see it as a very positive side to take forward.
And yeah, Tilla, we were talking about the future of Godfrey. You were saying your first step is Europe, and then maybe take China or some other market for the second step. But when you see it coming from the years from now, like you're doing to take the investors, how do you think about investors who are not from Sweden to your companies? What is your thought about that?
I think if you think of investors as individuals, I think it's a really good thing to have investors from China. But I think that me personally, I can't agree with all the politics in China, but I would love to have a good business partner. And I don't think it matters what part of the world they're from, as long as they're good in business and they have good morals, and they have the same vision as me for the company. I think they can be from anywhere, as long as we can work good together.
So the theme, this is a very good answer. The theme here is also like green innovation. So how do you see green innovation as an area in the company and the startup and scale up world? How do you see it in the future? Which ways do you think green innovation is going to have, both here in Sweden, but also international?
I think a company has to be green to survive in the future, because now a lot of people have this green thinking that they try to buy the most sustainable things in the store. They're trying to get the most sustainable, like, for example, if you're on the stock market, you try to buy the most sustainable stocks. You think that a lot of your in your everyday life. So I think the customers will just only want the green companies in the future. I hope so, at least, so that you can both get a good revenue on the company still do a good thing.
Yes. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's I can see that there's a lot of awareness, as Tilla mentioned as well, on sustainable usage, for example. And when we look at food production, if we look at globally agricultural production, 70% of fresh water is used in agriculture. And out of that, 60 to 70% gets spoiled because of the use of pesticides. So if we run the current food production system, we will run out of water actually in some years down the lane. So people have understood this, and there's a lot of activities going on to conserve water, especially drinking water. So I think green innovation is the way forward for us, so that the human mankind can live further.
Yes, I totally agree. And I get very many thoughts just to hear your answers. Lias, what do you think?
Yeah, the customer always decide the future of all companies. And we're starting to see a trend where the customer choose more sustainable solutions. And as a sustainable company, is our work to provide good products in a sustainable way. And if small companies can come in and make a change, the bigger companies will make the change because they see that the customers are choosing the smaller companies. So even if our company will not be the biggest, we can make an impact. So the biggest companies also make a sustainable way of working.
Very good. And for now, you have your company different kind of stages, and we have heard a little bit of what you think about the future and the steps and the growth. What do you think if some more entrepreneurs are actually listen to this? Do you have any forward steps or tips, like we are thinking of this because of this is our purpose, this is our why, and we think we can do it even more together? Or I think I'm reaching out for both, like future why, but also how you think collaboration can be more. I'm missing the word in English, but be more successful, I think is one of the words. So you're open to investors in kind of values and such. Do you think you see your company taking more collaborations with Utila? You were actually talking about earlier, companies from other countries, or do you see it? No, I'm going to work with it and I'm going to grow it to this stage, and then I'm open for something else.
I think we're starting to see this. I work in this fashion industry, and you're starting to see a lot of collaborations with different brands. Big brands are making new products together in a sustainable way.
Okay, very good. And the same question.
Yes. So, I mean, sustainable food production, for example, I mean, nutrition, I mean, customers are looking for that. So what we are also looking for is to find more collaborations with the big food companies, for example, or even the pharmaceutical industries, because pharma companies have a tough time in sourcing pure raw material, because as now it is grown in free land, like in normal fields and erratic weather conditions, they have tough time in sourcing those materials. So we would like to have some sort of joint venture with many pharma companies, for example, so we could work together and grow together as well.
That's very good. And we have the last comment from Tilda in this, and you have actually answered the question. You were also talking about values, visions, and
teamwork.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. We actually have one more company and entrepreneur with us, digital, and it's Mr. Shinsen from Polywell. You can see if we have him with us right now.
So, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, the dear ambassador and the Swedish brand, I'm very honored and grateful to have this opportunity to attend this event of the China Day. The first, please allow me to make a brief introduction of Beijing Polywell law firm. The Beijing Polywell law firm is a partnership law firm set up upon approval of the Ministry of Justice and the Beijing Bureau of Justice. It has been established for 17 years. Since May 2004, Polywell is an international full-service law firm. We are committed to providing clients with a full legal service, including environment resources, international product and technology service and trade, corporation compliance, taxation, IP, investment and financing, M&A, really estate and construction, bank and financing, and chemical defense, cement, and chemical dispatch, resolution, and execution. These days, in order to the future promote the improvement of Chinese and environment, Honeywell offer various services, including environmental production complex galaxy for entity of the different industries, low carbon and zero carbon design of industry parks, in environmental resource due diligence and cooperation in environmental production, local risk prevention. That's all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for that introduction. We are going to talk a little bit more later, and we also have more questions for you then. But for now, thank you so much and welcome. We're going to the next step in the program, and we have one more speaker.
Yeah, I'd like to give you a very rough picture of science and technology in green development in China. China's green science and technology innovation has been greatly developed in recent years, together with prosperous socio-economic development. First, fruitful research results have been achieved in the field of green technology. From 2015 to 2019, the papers published by Chinese scholars in the fields of energy storage, hydrogen energy, and solar energy accounted for 45%, 29%, and 25% of the world's total. At the same time, the number of Chinese scholars in the top 10% of the world's papers in these fields ranked first in the world. And more than twice as many as the number of American scholars, which ranked second. Second, the technology cost of important green technology has obvious advantages, which has made a major contribution to greatly reducing the cost of wind power and solar power generation. In the past 10 years, the cost of photovoltaic and onshore wind power has decreased by 75% and 30% respectively, far lower than that of major developed economies. The hydropower sector has the world's largest million kilowatt turbine technology and engineering technology capabilities. Third, the market scale is huge. By the end of 2020, China's total installed capacity of hydropower has ranked first in the world for 16 consecutive years, wind power for 11 years, photovoltaic for 6 years, and biomass for 3 years. Among the top 10 enterprises in the world, there are 7 in China in this area. The trading volume of new energy vehicles ranked first in the world for 5 consecutive years, with more than 5.5 million vehicles in operation, accounting for more than half of the world. Fourth, it has a broad prospect for development. The need of China's construction of high quality development provide unprecedented demand, unprecedented opportunities for green technology innovation. The huge domestic demand market formed by 1.4 billion population is a significant advantage for the development and application of green low carbon technology. Some experts estimated that if photovoltaic devices can be installed on the roofs of rural areas where conditions permit, it will generate 3 trillion kilowatt hour of electricity, accounting for 23% of China's total electricity demand in the future. but there isn't an existing green technology system to underpin realization of the goal of carbon neutrality and the green transformation yet. In 2019, the guidance on the construction of a market-oriented green technology innovation system issued by the National Development and Reform Commission and the Ministry of Science and Technology defined the objectives and the measures of cultivating and expand the main body of green technology innovation, strengthening the guidance mechanism of green technology innovation, promoting transformation and the demonstration application of green technology innovation achievements, optimizing the environment of green technology innovation, and strengthening the opening up and international cooperation of green technology innovation. The purpose is to stimulate the market demand of green technology as a breakthrough, to strengthen the main body of international innovation and enhance the vitality of innovation as the core, to accelerate the construction of a green technology innovation system with enterprises as the main body by optimizing innovation environment as the focus, and strengthening green management of the whole life cycle of products to achieve a green technology innovation system featuring deep integration of industry, academia, and research. We do hope Swedish research institutions and enterprises play a key role in cooperation between China and Sweden to achieve carbon neutrality and green development. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that keynote speech, and I'm very glad, and we are very glad here in the studio to hear that you are very open-minded and positive, but also engaged in the work with different kind of sustainability solutions. So thank you for that. Okay, we are going to continue with some questions, and we are now going to see if we also have Mr. Shinsen from Polywell back with us. Hi.
Yeah, I can hear you.
We're wondering, the first questions to you is, please describe how your law firm working with green tech innovation.
Okay. In these few years, Polywell has achieved outstanding performance in environment and resources legal service. The first, we have extensive cooperation with the China Biodiversity Conservation and Green Development Foundation, Chongqing Green Volunteer Association, Wuhan University, and Environmental Law Institute. We have conducted a series of activities in environmental law promotion and in environment public interest litigation to do some work for Chinese environmental production public welfare.
Question to you is, how do your law firm promote China's achievement within the green tech industry?
Sorry, pardon?
Oh, okay, I take the question one more time. So the next question for you is, how do your law firm promote China's achievement within the green tech industry?
Okay, it's question 2, right?
Question 2.
Yeah. In order to further promote the improvement of the China environment, Polywell offer various services, including environmental protection, compliance, guidance for entity of the different industries, low carbon and zero carbon, design of the industrial park, environmental resource due to diligence and corporate environmental protection legal risk prevention. We are also committed to providing environmental compliance consulting and environmental law related service for foreign companies investing in China. So Polywell has cooperation with the climate related project, ONO, Environmental Protection Organization of the United States for promotion of global environmental issues. We have also worked with environmental law professors of the famous Chinese university, such as the Wuhan University Environmental Law Institute, Renmin University of China, the China University of Public Science of Law. With the support of such experts, Polywell has developed the complete set of environmental legal service on issues related to carbon taking and carbon neutrality, being prepared for Chinese to reach the carbon peak by 2030 and be carbon neutral by 2060.
Thank you. It's very interesting to listen to you. And our last question to you is regarding the potential in cooperation between Sweden and China in regard of climate and green tech, specifically in law and compliance. How do you think about that?
Okay. So I think we believe the Polywell law firm is able to promote international business cooperation based on its integrated service platform to provide all-round service to the green technology companies of Sweden coming into China. So, so thank you for giving me Polywell law firm's opportunity today. I will be looking forward to having further discussion and exchange of the thoughts with you regarding environmental protection, green technology, and green investment in China in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being here with us today. And I hope that all of you that are more interesting take contact with our entrepreneurs that you are seeing in the program. It's totally fine. And you can also start to prepare if you have some own questions you want to pinpoint to our entrepreneurs and the different kind of companies they are having. But thank you for that, Mr. Shin-sen from Polywell. And we are going on with the last questions to our expert panel of entrepreneurs. Sorry. So we have a question who we were talking about a little bit earlier, but do you have any or some specific ways that your company work with sustainability, like goals or a strategy? You have a strategy that you are following. Who wants to start?
We've actually worked a lot with our products, so they are as sustainable as possible with the materials. So we don't use dairy, since the dairy industry is a big polluter, and we didn't want to contribute to the animal abuse in the dairy industry either. So we chose no dairy and just vegan products. So that's one way that we work with the sustainability within the products. Mm-hmm. And we also, when we ship out the products, we use a lot of materials from our, from like the ingredients we buy and from other things we buy. So we reuse the shipping tools so we can ship away things that have already been used.
That's very good. That's a good plan.
It's a small thing, but yeah. I think a lot of small things can be a big thing in the end.
I totally agree. do you have any goals that you're like this from now on and 1 year further, we're gonna reach this level, we're gonna like sold this many products, you're gonna
I have a goal that in 5 years, every city in Sweden will have the spoons in at least 5 of their ice cream shops.
very
Yeah.
good. Rob, very good. Thank you. And we go further to Sharos and Elias. What do you think about this question? Do you have any specific ways that your company works with sustainability?
Yeah, so we are trying to cover some of the 9 SDG goals, the sustainability development goals that the United Nations has formulated the last year. So in one of that is circular economy, as well as how to use renewable energy sources. So our modular farms, we call ourselves as hyper-local, in the sense that we grow very locally and deliver within a 100-kilometer radius to the customers. So thereby reducing long distance transport, because transport is one of the major pollutants as well currently. And then we also minimize the usage of water and leakage of these water out to the environment. So that's one of the major pollutants in agriculture currently, where fishes, they die, and it harms the many other aquatic animals as well. And another one is we are trying to use renewable energy in running our modular farms, like solar, for example. So thereby making it much more modular and energy sustainable, for example.
And do you, till we're in on different kind of goals in an early time limit, do you have any one of them you want to share with us?
Yes, so our goal is to have at least one modular farm in one of the major cities in Sweden, so that we can cater to the local population by locally producing it and selling it to the customers all year round. Even during winter, even if it is -30 or -40, we can grow and deliver fresh produce within an hour of harvest.
Wow, even in -30 degrees.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. Elias.
Yes, fashion is a way to express yourself. So our future plan for the sustainability is we will produce limited edition collections to each country. And in China, example, we will talk to the customers and produce products that people want, and using sustainable materials produced in China. And for Europe, we will only make products and materials used from the Europe market. So in this way, we can support the country with collections and make it adapted to them, and also reduce the shipping of all the products produced. So that is our plan on the future collections we are releasing.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. And we have a short time now before we have some questions from the audience and the viewers. So is it anything you want to, you're thinking about and you want to share with us before we see if we have any more questions?
I like the thing you said earlier, that the smaller companies can set an example for the bigger companies. I thought that was really like a positive and like a good thing to think about, that even though you're a small company, you can do a lot of good things, and that will impact the whole industry. So I thought that was really good.
It's a very good take.
Yeah,
I love it as well.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah,
So,
no one can do everything,
No.
but everybody can do something.
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very good. That's a
Small
good-
companies can be a role model for bigger ones.
Yes, and you are.
Yeah.
All three of you and all four of you who have been here today, thank you so much for your contribution and your passion for your companies, and we are wishing you all the best luck in the future, and we hope that today's program also can help your companies to network and get some more attraction, and also more companies globally that wants to contribute and work together with you. So thank you so much. We are actually going to look forward to see if we have any questions from all of you who are watching. And I can say to you that if you have a question to some of the entrepreneurs and companies in our expert panel, you can write the question in the chat function in Zoom right now, and we will wait 1 minute or so, and we can pick your question up. It's every time you get this opportunity, many people is thinking, oh, not me, I'm not gonna take this question, someone else is gonna write it. But no, don't think like that. We yes, bring it. Okay, yes, we have one question I hear from the technical booth.
What is the best tips for a young entrepreneur to get started with sustainable technology?
Do you want me to repeat the question? Yes. So we have one question in the chat function is how does a young entrepreneur get started with working with sustainability? What do you think?
I think talk to somebody that already works with sustainability and see how they do it. Because there's a lot of people that can set an example for you. And you can take all the best parts in the way they're working and just take that to yourself. So talk to people that do what you're wanting to do.
Or do you have having more tips to a young entrepreneur?
Yeah, I agree with Tilda. So it's same things. The best thing is you talk to someone and also look for the problems that are present. For example, go around places.
Yes.
If you still sit in one place, probably you don't get much ideas. Maybe travel around, look at the problems, and then you will probably understand. Now, maybe this needs a sustainable solution. So
very good.
That can come up.
Yeah.
Travel is the best way.
Travel more after the pandemic and see what kind of green tech innovation we can come up with, and talk to other people, network.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
As a young entrepreneur, you should always start with the customers, see what they want and what they need, and then find the technology after you find the issue.
Great. Start with the issue, talk to people, travel, change environment to get more inspiration.
So just gather as much information you can.
Gather as much information you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Tilda, Elias, and Sarush. We have one more question. Fun.
What is the views in China regarding hemp and a crop that can help with green solutions, for example, food, building material, used for heating, etc.?
Oh my God, this is a very good question, very long question. And actually, I'm gonna do like this. We're gonna have the computer, because this is very, very good question and very long texture. So I don't want to, start guessing. The question goes wrong. So I'm gonna read it right straight ahead from the chat. Thank you so much. So next question is, what is the view of China regarding hemp as a crop that can help with green solutions, for example, food, building materials, used for heating, etc.? Which person do we want to answer this? Is it someone special we want to pinpoint this question to? We can have those two. Ding, maybe you can help us with this question. Mr. Ding, you maybe can help us with this particular question. I think it's best that you start with it. And we can say it again if you want to.
Hello. Okay. No. Thank you for the question. It's a good question, but I'm afraid I don't have the expertise or specific information in this area. If you don't mind,
try. You don't need to be an expert. Just see if you come up with some answer you really like. Yeah, I can give this tip or anything like that. Talk to this one, or some of your point of views is good enough.
I can have somebody to check it out and let you know via email later. My email is TRNGMIGQIN66@gmail.com.
Great, you are taking that road. That's very good. Thank you so much. And for the person who was writing the question in the chat function, please take contact and you will get more help. That's good. That's very good. Good networking as well. Okay, I think I keep this computer and we see if we can have one more question. We have time for one more question from some of you who are watching. You can have a bigger question or for everyone, or just pinpoint to one of our companies. And here we have one. What's the most interesting thing that has happened recently within sustainability according to the panel members within their fields?
Yes, I can start. There is a way of producing a material or textile by using algae. And how this works is the algae uses carbon dioxide and out comes biomass with clean air. And with this biomass, we can produce textiles. This is a very interesting material for us, where we can say that our product is made of carbon dioxide. So that is the one material we are looking into and finding very interesting.
Thank you, Elias. Yes, and we have the same question then to the rest of the panel.
There's a lot of new companies that are really interested in like the single-use utensils field. So for example, we actually talked about this earlier, but the leaf plates that you can't eat them, but you can use them and then they're compostable afterwards. And there's a lot of ideas like that, so that you don't have to, even though you throw it away, it's not like plastic, like petroleum plastic. It's not harmful for the environment. And I really like those ideas that you do something that's good for the environment.
That's good. Sharos, what do you think?
Yes, I can take a specific example. I hope it's not too technical.
No, try us.
Yeah, so
you are a scientist.
So I can take an example of vaccine, for example. Vaccines are usually they are combined with the molecule called as adjuvants. And even in a COVID vaccine nowadays, it's used. Adjuvant is a molecule. It's a combination of molecules which helps the vaccine to be absorbed very well in the immune system.
Yeah.
So until now, this adjuvant is based off a plant material, and actually it comes from an bark of a tree from South America, and this tree is very endangered, and it has been a lot of slaughter and cutting down of these trees for the bark, and this they are called as saponins that are extracted from the bark. And now of this COVID-19 vaccine development, there is a lot of awareness that we need to have some other supplement apart from cutting down these exotic trees, rather than have something else. So there has been some progress now on growing some plants which can have the same molecule, so that you don't need to cut down those exotic trees for vaccine development, but rather grow plants in an indoor environment in a more sustainable way and have vaccines produced much more in a sustainable manner.
I hope that is, because I want to save the trees in South America. Thank you. Good answer. Okay, we have yes, we have two more questions. I see. How does China contribute to the global environment work? And this is, I think, a question for Mr. Ding at the embassy. Can start there.
Thank you for the question. I have just introduced something about this topic in my speech 20 minutes ago. But I have to say something more. Last September, President Xi Jinping made the solemn commitment we aim to have CO2 emissions peak before 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality before 2060. This March, the Chinese government announced in its 14th five-year plan, in the next 5 years, energy consumption per unit GDP will be reduced by 13.5%. CO2 emission will be reduced by 18%, formulating a universally accepted green production and lifestyle. This is a major strategic development for China to adapt to the green transformation and achieve sustainable, high-quality development. Peaking carbon dioxide emissions and achieving neutrality will bring about a great change in economy, society, and environment driven by scientific and technological revolution, which is no less significant than industrial revolution. China's goal of carbon neutrality in 2060, I believe, will force technological innovation of carbon emission reductions, which will lead to a technological revolution marked by decarbonization, and then lead to great changes in energy industry and lifestyle. In terms of energy, fossil energy resources will be phased out gradually, and an energy system with wind, solar, biomass, hydrogen, and other green energies are the main body will be built. In terms of industry, it will lead to industrial transformation in power, manufacturing, transportation, construction, and some other fields, as well as innovation of production equipment and industrial process re-engineering, so as to realize fundamental changes in industrial structure and format. In the aspect of lifestyle, it will lead to the transformation of the way of human social development from resource consumption and environmental unfriendliness to green development such as zero carbon and recycling, and even change the basic mode of people's clothing, food, housing, and transportation, which will lead to epoch-making changes. I think the tackling climate change is a global issue. We have to work with all the countries to contribute to control the temperature rise. Thank you.
You hear me now? Yes, thank you. Thank you for that answer, and I hope that our participants got some new information and some good advice from that answer. We have some more questions, and one of them we actually want to it's a question from the embassy and you again, and it's some advice for the companies here today, like how can they take the step to you, and what can we do, who is right on, like action, how do we go to action to collaborate, or yes, I think that it's a good question. And also many companies from Sweden want to hear, how does the step go, like from Sweden, my next step to collaboration, and from collaboration to market in China, where do I start, and what can our companies do that we have here with us today?
Okay, I'll take this question. I'm the commercial counselor of the embassy, and to give you a very short answer, you either go to my office, which is based in Stockholm, and we can help you with finding some good, a reliable partner in China. It all depends on your business in which sector, and also, you know, the Business Sweden have office in Beijing and Shanghai. Recently, we have very good collaboration with BS, and the head of Business Sweden China is Mr. Joachim Abelin, and you also can contact him to find further advices or suggestions. So very simple answer. You can go to me and go to business with in China. Yes, thank you.
Short and consistent, and we can reach out to you, can contact you, we can book a meeting with you, and after that, you as an entrepreneur and company can get help to go further in your growth to another market. Thank you. I think that also was the two questions who were lost in the chat function. For your questions, and the last one is best advice to companies who want to become more sustainability and eco-friendly in their general work as well as on a daily basis. I think maybe our panel wants to jump in on this question.
As we've talked about like before, ask your customers, because most of your customers are going to have the answer to what they want to make your company more sustainable. And if you don't have customers that are thinking environmentally friendly, then you can go to, like, you can try to contact somebody. We have LinkedIn, we have a lot of good like platforms where you can contact people that can help you to think in the green ways.
Thank you, Tilla. Do our gentlemen agree, or do you have any more answer?
Yeah, I agree. But also, what product are you already producing? Can you make the same product in a sustainable way at the same price, same quality? Then it's a no-brainer. Just do it.
No-brainer, just do it.
Yeah, so it's the same thing as, I mean, I agree with Elias and Tilda. When you have a product, then it's always nice to look at the customer's requirements as well. And then if you make it more sustainable, then it's an extra star or a feather on the cap, so that you can say that it's more sustainable. So it can even cut down the cost, for example, of production, and also give it a better perspective that you are making it much more sustainable way.
Thank you. And the last thing in that question was like also like a daily basis. I think that also maybe contains like how you work, which kind of company you collaborate with. Tilla, you were earlier talking about your shipping and everything, like the whole, I think it's like the whole picture of driving the company forward. Can you agree that you're taking decisions every day that are in the green way, like, or do you have any day like now, today I'm not gonna take?
I think you have the responsibility to always have that day that you take the right decisions, both for the company and for the world as well, and for the environment, that you're always, even though it's a little thing to do, you always have to make the right choice. And sometimes it's not the right choice, but at least you have to try. And I think that if you're genuinely interested in sustainability and how you can make things better, I think it's just gonna be a natural thing that you try to make the right decisions, and you're going to be interested to like reach out to people. You're going to Google to just gather all the information you can to make the most of the decision you're making.
Yeah, so it could be also that some immediate sustainable solutions might not be sustainable in the long term. So always look for the long-term goals where you could make it much more sustainable.
Yeah, one funny thing is that I worked at a company, and before we used paper cups, and by changing paper cups to just the mug that you always have, we reduced a lot of paper mugs. Just small things can make a big impact.
Thank you. And now the last question is going to Mr. Shins from Polywell. Do we have you with us? Do we have you with us? And the question is about the advice. So what is your best advice for entrepreneurs? One moment, just a little bit of delay here. But the question is once more about advice for companies from Sweden. Okay, I think we have a little bit of delay, so we are going to wrap this up. But to all of you who have been listening and watching, if you have any more questions later on, just contact our panel, all of our expert panel. You have Tilda from Gotlery, you have Sharush from Grönovation, Elias from Avery Milton, and also Shinsen from Polywell. So all of these 4 entrepreneurs and company you can contact and have more questions if you want to. But also, of course, you can contact the Chinese ambassador, Mr. Gui, and if you have some more questions for them, it's also very okay to take contact and start the collaboration.
And we will also
at last, the last information for today is if you want to look at it again, or you want to download some more information and all the contacts to everyone who is in the program, you can go into the website and you find everything you need there. So for now, we want to say thank you for listening.